Hi, this is Michelle Morgan with the Mind Right Game Tight segment here on the Sade Champagne Show on Grind Hard Radio. Today's guest is Augustine Okosun, and he is a professional basketball player. He was born in Nigeria, and he moved to the United States when he was 14 years old. He played Division I basketball at Seton Hall University, and he currently plays professional basketball overseas. So welcome to the show, Augustine. It's great to have you on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So how is it transitioning from another country into the United States? And were you already playing basketball in Nigeria, or is it something that you kind of found here in the United States?
The transition from Nigeria to here was amazing. It was something that I looked forward to as a young boy at 14 years old. Coming to America was a big deal. So I was excited. I was going to miss my family, but I was looking forward to being in America and being in a great country like this. And no, I didn't play basketball in Nigeria. In fact, I played soccer growing up. But everyone encouraged me to play basketball. So once I got here, I had to pick it up because, I kind of had no choice. So, yeah.
How tall were you at 14 years old? Because, you're sitting down right now, so people might not know how tall you are. How tall are you?
I'm 6'10".
So
I'm 6'10"
how old
right now. But at 14, I was about I think 6'5". I was really tall at a young age.
Got it.
About like 6'4", 6'5", something like that. Yeah.
So that's why everyone said you need to play basketball and stop kicking the soccer ball around.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard that my whole life. I would be on a soccer pitch and people would constantly kind of mock me for being there. Like, you should be on the basketball court, So it kind of I was kind of forced into it, but I'm glad I did it because I love basketball. So,
awesome.
yeah, and it's been a great experience, playing the game. And, I mean, it's my source of income and, it's my passion as well now. So It turned out really well.
That's awesome, getting to do what you love to do. And then you're currently playing basketball overseas. How long have you been playing basketball overseas?
Since 2010. I graduated college in 2010, and I became a pro the same year. Played in the NBA DLeague for a little bit, and just traveled the world ever since, playing from country to country every season.
So you played basketball in the D-League. Describe that journey that you took. Like, how does that happen where you graduate from Seton Hall and then how you continue your playing career? For people who aren't aware of how do people play professionally overseas, like sometimes we're only aware of, the NBA, but there are professional athletes all over the world. So how did that process and that journey look like for you from graduating college?
First, it was something that I was looking forward to with anticipation, but not knowing what I was getting into. It's a whole different ballgame playing professionally. With the D-League, I submitted my name into the D-League draft, and I had some highlights in college, and so a lot of people knew who I was, playing from a big name school. So it was easy for me to get drafted to the NBA D-League, and I had to go there to training camp to make the team, which I did, and I built my resume from there, and I hired an agent who has the connections overseas, and when I decided to get out of the D-League a few years later, it was easy for him to get me a job in Spain, where I played my first season. It is quite challenging going to another country where they speak a different language. For example, being in Spain, they're speaking Spanish a lot. You guys don't think speak English. Being far away from home, a whole different weather, different society, have their norms and things that you're not used to. It's just a lot of challenges you have to face, and you have to find a way to overcome it to just perform at a high level to be able to keep a job.
Awesome. And so how have you seen your game develop as a professional athlete? Like you said, like it was a whole nother ball game when you got to the D-League coming out of, college. And so how have you seen your game develop as a professional athlete? And then what skills are you currently improving on?
Right now I'm working on being more of an offensive player. I've been known for my defense over the years. But right now I'm working on being more of an offensive player, developing skills on the post, being able to shoot the mid-range and the three-point shot. And it's a process, and it's something that you have to do every day. It's like anything, the more you put in the time, the better you get. So I'm just dedicating myself to my craft daily with a focus on my offense to becoming a more rounded player.
And I can say that I've definitely have seen that in like the videos that you show, that you post on Instagram, and those highlights. Because I remember watching you, I think it was in the DLeague when I went to go see you play. And then, seeing those clips that you have now, I can totally see like the offensive like mindset that you've created. So that's awesome. I applaud you, because to develop those skills aren't easy. And so to continue to improve, I think that's awesome. And I can definitely see the improvement that you made in, putting your focus also on the offensive side of the ball as well. So great job, Austin.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so throughout your travels through different countries, how many countries have you traveled to in terms of playing professionally?
Oh, that's a lot. A lot. I can give you about 10 to 12 right now, but it's a lot. I've been to the Dominican, I've been to Germany, Spain, Italy, France, Australia, China, Japan, Qatar, Dubai, which is the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Iran.
Wow, everywhere.
Yeah, I've traveled quite a bit, so it's something that it's quite challenging, but it is my passion, and I'm a better person for seeing the world through basketball. So I'm glad I've done it.
And so through becoming a better person, through seeing the world, what country did you play in? What country taught you the most about life?
Egypt. I remember being in Egypt and seeing the pyramids and seeing the Nile and all these things you read in the Bible growing up as a kid, like being able to be in a place like Egypt and seeing that, and also seeing how Christians and Muslims are living there together, and how in America you're taught that most people in this part of the world are terrorists and all this stuff, and in reality it's not really true, because I found out that those people just want the same things that people here want for their kids. Like I see parents with their kids at the mall on weekends. I see parents taking their kids to soccer practices, to tennis practices every day after school, and just doing the same things that we do here. They go grocery shopping. It's a nice, peaceful environment. There's some conflicts there, but they're basically human beings just like us, trying to live the same life that we live here. So it really was a really big eye-opening experience to see that. Also, Iran, being to Iran was also big for me, seeing how I thought I was going to a war zone going to Iran, but it is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. I felt like I was somewhere in Europe, really. It did not look like a Middle East country. So it was like a big eye-opener for me, and I learned so much from being there.
That's awesome, because I think it's important with just what you're saying, how, sometimes we're getting the cover of the book and we don't know what's really inside of it. And we need to come in contact to more people to know that it's not what we think it is. And that's where we create the fear and the division between us as human beings, because we think we're so different and that, we can't get along. But it's like you said, like, they're taking their kids to soccer practice, same thing they do here and, anywhere else. So it's like we really are united. So I think it's great that you get to bring that education back to the people that you surround yourself with, so that you can educate us on, oh, wow, like Iran's a beautiful country. We're not shown those images. So it's great to be able to speak to someone who comes from the outside and gets to go in and see it looking in. So, so can you describe an experience that you had maybe in junior high, high school, or at the college level where you faced adversity, and then how did you overcome it?
One of the toughest experiences I faced in college was not playing as much minutes as I wanted to, feeling like I was better than the guy that was there before and being overlooked. And I remember coming in as a junior, because I went to a junior college before where I did 2 years, and I came into Seton Hall as a junior, and not playing right away for the entire half of the season, playing just minimal minutes. It was really frustrating. There were times I thought of transferring, and I was like, this wasn't my place. But I remember sticking it out. I remember telling myself, I remember letting it piss me off enough to go to practice every day and just try to outwork the guy that was starting. My mentality was I want to take his head off every time I come to practice. And I went at him every single day to the point where the assistant coaches were telling the coach, you have to start Augustine. And he's proven that he's better. He's more athletic than John. And they started me a few games. I performed really well. And I remember for the rest of the season, I was starting most of the games, even in the biggest tournament, which is a really big deal. I remember they started me most of those games, and I felt great in the end. But it wasn't an easy start. It really wasn't an easy start. I had to create a mindset, of sink or swim. You either let this bring you down, or you're gonna swim your way out of it. And I fought my way out of it. That was one of the toughest experiences, but it turned out good in the end.
And then who helped you? Because you mentioned your mindset, like you had to, change your mindset, either sink or swim. So did you have any people that also supported you that knew what you were going through to kind of always to continue to encourage you to help support that mindset? Because sometimes we can, we get so hard on ourselves, just like, I feel like I should be playing. But, you told yourself you're going to put the work in. You're not just going to stay the same just because you want to show you should be playing. Like you had to put work in to now your actions showed that, that you should be playing, and you developed more and more skills through working hard. So did you have a support system in developing and getting to that point, developing your skills even more and working even harder?
Yes, I did. My mom was a big factor. She had played basketball in the past, like in the 60s. She played basketball in Nigeria. So, yeah, she won a bronze medal in the African Cup. For women's, back in the day.
That's awesome.
A lot of people don't know that, but yeah, my mom did play basketball. She was 6'1", so she played for the country back in Nigeria, and she was big on basketball back then. And so she knew what I was facing. She gave me great advice: to stay patient, to stay working, and that there was things I could control and the things I couldn't. I remember her saying that always. Like the things you can control is how hard you work, how much you want to prove to the person that has the control to be able to put you in the position that you want. So she was a very big factor. My guardian at the time in the U.S. was a big factor. I had an assistant coach who I was close to, and I would vent to him, and one of the things he told me was work hard, just stay humble and work hard. And eventually, I would watch video also. I remember watching video and seeing the things that guy was doing so well that I wasn't so good at. I felt like I was more athletic, I was younger, but he was a little bit more experienced. So I started to see the things he would do right, and I just worked on myself, worked hard, but did a lot of things better to earn what I ended up getting in the end. So it was well deserved.
So yeah, I totally agree, and it's great that you talk about that, because not just in sports, but sometimes in life we feel like we might deserve a little bit more. But just hearing your story, it goes to show that you have to put the action in. Everything will stay the same if you don't put no action towards it. So if you're unhappy with whatever situation is, then there's something that you got to change in your action steps, because like your mom said, you're the only one can control that, because you got to put the action in yourself. So what are 3 traits besides talent and skill do you recommend for student athletes to work on to take their game to the next level? So outside of talent and skill, what other traits or characteristics do you think are important for student athletes to work on to take their game to the next level?
Other traits besides talent and skill.
Right.
I would say humility. Humility, being able to, a lot of times we do this, sometimes we're just talking, we would love to talk. Sometimes you need to be able to listen. And being humble, the aspect of being humble is being able to, humble enough to hear what people have to say about your game. A lot of times you don't see yourself, in general, you don't see yourself better than someone sitting from the outside looking inside to you. When you're running on the basketball court, you don't see a lot of things that people from the outside see. So if you're humble enough to take advice from someone that has some experience and they're watching you and they're saying, hey, you can do this better, you can do that better, that level of humility to be able to accept it and work on it is something I think that most athletes need. The aspect of having some sort of, some people call it cockiness. I call it swag/confidence. Every great player that I've known, like the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, they have a swag to them. They have a cockiness to them. If you don't understand it, you call it, arrogance. Gives them some sort of fire to compete at a high level. So if you have that and you're able to humble yourself to listen at the same time, which they kind of contradict each other, but you have to find a middle ground where you should be able to listen and still have this other part of you that has this strong personality to go out there and take care of business, then I think you should be fine. I don't know if I answered it quite correctly, but
yeah, it makes sense. Like, I think you can have swag and still listen. Like, swagger doesn't mean you know it all, because if I want to get better, I'm going to improve myself, and that's part of the swag. That's the confidence that I can get better. So in order to get better, I have to be able to take information and be coachable and listen from others as well, because we don't know it all. We don't know everything. So, yes, I totally agree, and those are great things. So what have you learned about yourself as an athlete that you have implemented into your life outside of basketball?
Oh, so much. I've taken so much out of I feel like my whole life has been surrounded around basketball, and I've learned so much about who I am, what I stand for, what I can achieve in life through sports. And I learned that companies use that as one of the recruiting traits for hiring people. They know that you played competitively at some level of sport. It's a plus for you because they know that you can work as an individual and you can work as a group with people. And one of the things I've taken out is this: nothing in life is inachievable if you work hard. If I've attained this level of success with basketball, everything I've earned, the lifestyle I have today, I've gotten it from working so hard with basketball. I think I'll do great. I can take that same principle, that same work ethic, and bring it to any workforce. You can put me in a suit today, and I believe I'll do just fine in an office. Of course, I'm not doing physical stuff, but the mental toughness from sport that I've attained would definitely help me go through those things in life. That's being tenacious, competitive, the importance of hard work, dedication, being on time, discipline, focus. The list goes on and on. If you have it through sports, then there's no way you shouldn't be able to translate it into another aspect of your life. And it even goes beyond the workforce. It goes to your family. It goes to friendship. It goes also to relationships you have with people. So it's a very great thing to have, and I would love to pass that on to my child someday because I know the benefits that it brings. Being able to play sport, and I think it's even if you're not playing competitively, I encourage people to do it because there's something that you get out of it. You don't know it until you've engaged in it. I encourage people to do it because once you get to a point where you're competing, whether it's through a men's league or women's league or charity events, you learn about yourself. There are things that you don't think you can do that you find out about yourself once you engage in these things, and it just carries on through life. I've heard of people that have beat cancer and have done extraordinary things in their personal life because they were athletes and they did it with confidence. They did it with optimism, with mental toughness, and a lot of that you get from sport.
Awesome. Well, even though you say you're going to share it with your child, but you're sharing it with all the people and the student athletes, who want to go and follow their dreams of their past or their passion of playing sports. So it's great that you're sharing that information with us, and I feel like everything that you've said so far is so valuable in terms of the information that you're giving, because at any age, and this show is for, student athletes, is to understand those things and to really take advantage of the opportunity that you're given while you're playing sports. You're getting another realm to develop those skills so that when you take it into the work or your family and your relationships and things like that, you're prepared. You're prepared to excel in anything that you do. What are some books or websites or articles that you can recommend for student athletes to assist them with developing their skills and their mental strength as well?
One of the books that I read, I forgot the author, is called The Great Athlete. I read that coming out of college. It's called The Great Athlete. There's another one by Hakeem Olajuwon, who's one of my favorite basketball players of all time. I talked about his life, how he transitioned from Nigeria to America, and how he became one of the best NBA players of all time. That was a big book also for me that I really enjoyed, that helped me. And also all the books by Michael Jordan. All the Jordan books are very, very, very helpful. His level of competitiveness and everything that he brought to the game is on those books. So I recommend getting the Hakeem Olajuwon book, the Jordan books, and the book called The Great Athlete. But even further, I think there's so much on the internet today that I look to and listen to on YouTube. whatever sports you play, there's somebody in that field that has done it and has excelled at a high level at it. If you go on YouTube and you just type in that person's name, I'm sure there are information that you can take out of there that can help you. Weirdly enough for me, I watch a guy who's one of my heroes from sports. He's a soccer guy, by the name of Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He's from Sweden. He's the king of soccer in Sweden. The reason I watch his videos is just he has, in his mind, he's not a human being. He's a lion. And he doesn't even talk, when he's talking about himself, he does not talk about himself, the way a typical person does. He talks to himself in the third person. Like he would say stuff like, Zlatan doesn't do tryouts. Zlatan doesn't do this. Like he's that confident and that happy about himself. But, it's a little bit of, you can take it like a little bit of arrogance, but that's what gets him going. But inside, he's a great person, and people that really know him know he's a great person, but he has this personality that just makes him so different. He's so fearless when he's there in the soccer field. So I watch his videos a lot, and they inspire me before basketball games. It's kind of weird watching a soccer player to get inspired for basketball, but it's amazing. I watch his video before every single game that I play.
Oh, wow.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic, he's a great, great, great soccer player. Love what he's done to the game of soccer. Like I said, there are a million things you can watch. Sometimes I watch Usain Bolt. I watch Usain Bolt run on the Olympics and watch his preparation prior to the Olympics. Watch how he runs in the Olympics. I watch the gymnastic girls, that compete at a high level in the Olympics. I try not to be narrow-minded. I have a ton of vision. I watch so many different videos, and I don't have to play that sport. All I have to see is how intense that athlete is with their training. How do they perform at a high level? And I just take that intensity and I bring it to my sport, and it's helped me tremendously. So I would encourage that.
Awesome. So it's important, even just listening to you is sometimes we get caught up as an athlete, like, I have my training schedule and if I'm a student athlete, I have school, I have to train, and then maybe I have to work, and then there's no time to get that other information from other people, whether if it's reading a book or watching a video. But as you just mentioned, getting that information from other people is so vital to your mind because, like you said, you watch the Sweden soccer player, and he excites you in your mind, like you feel him, and then you believe like you're the lion, and you're ready to go. Right. So it's so great to get that information from other people because you really are expanding your mind with what you watch, what you read, and what you listen to as well. So what's coming up for you? What country are you going to be headed to next? What's going on with Austin?
What's coming up this season? I'm planning to go back into the NBA DLeague. I'm planning to leave in the next few weeks to either Argentina or Brazil to play there for about 2 months. Then I'm going to come back and go right into the NBA DLeague and try to give the NBA one more shot. Then after that, who knows? I mean, I think within for the next 5 years, I know I'm going to be playing I'm going to be playing high competitive basketball somewhere for the next 5 years. Once that is done, I look forward to settling down, maybe having a kid, and just more of a grown-up and trying to figure out where the next chapter of my life will go. But wherever it's going to go, I know it's going to be exciting because I see all the skills that I've brought from basketball is definitely going to help me achieve whatever goal I set my mind to in life.
Well, you already are grown up. I think grown up is all in your head. So everything that you shared with me and everybody listening it shows, how much your mind's developed and how you can continue to take yourself to the next level, and you have so much more growth to happen. So it's exciting to see, as you continue to develop just in basketball, but in life as well. So I want to thank you, Austin, for being on the Mind Right Game Tight show. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I've seen you develop, and I think it's awesome to see your skills to continue to develop. I think that is so important, and I think it's an inspiration because it's not easy to do those things. So that's awesome what you're doing. Absolutely. And you're also great outside of basketball because I know you outside of basketball as well. So you're a great person, and I'm so excited to know that your mom played basketball. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So once again, thank you, Austin, and then we look forward to seeing you continue on your journey, and you're welcome back anytime to share any more wisdom on your journey. So thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.